11 months ago, after a female student of color defended Portland State University practice of arming campus police, hashtag disarm PSU student activists made sure another couldn't do the same. Well, of course they do, because they're so tolerant, right? They're so tolerant. They love, exhibiting they're the virtue. The virtue they signal is what we should all, aspire to attain. Aspire to their level of virtue. They prevented Leslie Guerrera, a psychology student, from giving testimony at another board of trustee meetings to consider disarming campus police in part or completely. Guerrera told College Fix in a phone interview Friday that campus police had come through for her in 3+ years on campus, and that she wanted officers to be treated individually, not as a whole. Now, there's a novel idea, huh? Actually treating it on a per-case basis and realizing that not all people are pieces of crap and aren't evil and aren't bad. There's bad ones in any walk of life, but not everybody's a bad person. That's an interesting thought. Testifying at the Thursday board meeting wasn't my plan for the day, said the self-described liberal Democrat, but she decided half an hour before that I'm tired of them, hashtag disarm PSU activists, representing the campus as a whole. Says the special board meeting, which was open to the public, was called to hear recommendations from a firm hired by PSU. I'm sure it was a middle-of-the-road firm, right? I'm sure it wasn't a left-leaning, crazy, libtarded firm, because PSU wouldn't do that, right? They're very, mainstream, middle of the road. Whether and how officers should be armed. So that's great. Let's hire a firm that isn't in law enforcement to tell law enforcement officers how they should do their job. That makes a ton of sense. Student activists have long protested the policy, which date back 4 years, but their activism reached a boiling point after campus police shot and killed Jason Washington when he dropped his friend's gun outside a bar. The Navy veteran, who was black, had a concealed carry permit. It's terrible. Terrible situation. I think the guy died. I'm not sure. The incident sparked 2 university investigations, one led by Margolis. Why do all these names I got to read and these things got to be so hard? Margolis? Marge? We'll call her Marge. Healy, to consider the future of the policy. At a Thursday meeting, the firm's consultants recommended that a few campus police remained armed while PSU transitions to a primary group of highly trained but unarmed officers to be a very visible presence on campus. Yeah, because their highly visible presence is going to stop bad people with real bad intentions. There's an unarmed law enforcement officer over there. I'm not going to do something bad. It's so stupid. Guerrera testified after many others spoke against armed police. There's a drunk guy with a gun who's not following orders, and in my opinion, that's a very scary situation, she said. That's when the mic and her written statement were taken away. Interesting. KPTV reported. The news station video shows student activists repeatedly talking over Guerrera. She tried to testify. Her only intelligible statement in the din was asking for the disarmed PSU protesters to show her the same respect she showed them when they spoke. Well, that's asking a bit too much from complete social justice libtard, probably Antifa members. You're not going to get that. It's their way or the highway. Don't you understand this by now? It doesn't go both ways. It doesn't go both ways with the far left. They think everybody who doesn't think the way they think are fascists and racists and bigots and homophobes and all the ists and the isms you can think of. If you don't think the way they do, if you're not a hardcore leftist Marxist crazy person, social justice warrior, then you are going to be shouted down at every turn and in every possible way. That's just the way they operate, period, end of discussion. Activists cut her off because my opinion did not align with theirs. Exactly. Guerrera told The Fix that she had never publicly talked about the policy before her spur-of-the-moment decision to attend the meeting. She waited her turn to speak at the microphone and sat there quietly, which is what I'm supposed to do because I'm a grown adult. Absolutely true. The student activist got rowdy when she stated the facts about Washington's blood alcohol content, which is a problem. It's another big problem with the left and the leftists is they don't like facts, man. Facts do not align with their narrative. Facts are not okay. It's about feelings. It's about perception. It's about the story we want to portray. And if facts get in the way of that, we shout them down, or we bury them, or we don't talk about them. We push them out of the way. Facts are not our friends. She continued and said, the students got rowdy when she started the facts about Washington's blood alcohol content, which was 3 times the legal limit for driving. Olivia Pace of the PSU Student Union, an unofficial body of self-described radical campus activists, yelled at Guerrera for her source. And Guerrera said she cited the publicly available toxicology report on Washington's death. She cited the toxicology report, the official report of the autopsy that said how much alcohol he had in his system. It seems like a pretty solid source. She got through about half of her prepared statement before #disarm PSU activists cut her off because my opinion did not align with theirs. I understand the Washington's families here. I get it. She told The Fix it's very hard to process to grieve publicly, but it's not just Jason Washington's family to consider when designing policy for the sprawling PSU campus downtown. PSU said only one city police officer was assigned to this part of town when it adopted the policy. Guerrera lives in the neighborhood, and she relies on the campus police safety office to protect her. If she goes for a walk and gets attacked, the city police won't reach her, Guerrera said. And as a woman of the color, I personally believe that, yes, Black Lives Matter, but we should not be judging CPOS as a whole, she said. She said naming specific officers she knows. She credited campus police with intervening in a library incident which she was involved in. Guerrera acknowledged that cops are sometimes very rotten people, but they go to their jobs every day facing death threats and slurs. She questioned how representative the activists are of the student opinion. The response rate was only 14% of the recent survey of the student body about the armed police policy. And that's another thing about the left and these social justice warriors. Keep in mind, people, when you're dealing with these people, and I get to deal with them here in Portland area quite more than I probably want to. And I don't personally deal with them all that much one-on-one because I'm where I live, but I hear about it and I do see it. And here's the thing about that. You see it nationwide, though. The small voice, the small percentage acts like they typically have the louder voice. You see it with the Hollywood act, Hollywood and Silicon Valley and all these really, the leftists that have these big platforms. They shout out all these policies and they shout out all these injustices and they shout out all these virtue signaling, and they make this sound like everyone feels this way and thinks this way, but typically it's a very small percentage of the actual people of the community or of the country or the city, of the state, of the country. It's a small percentage, and they just got a really loud voice, and that's why they're able to pull off what they pull off. But let me show you this little, I think there's a video snippet of it here. Yeah.
Here. You could have stopped her.
Are you serious? I would hope that I would get the same respect back, but I guess it doesn't work that way.
Right.
We have to take into consideration that sure, Portland police's rights on the street, but they're not specifically trained to meet the needs of a college campus and its circumstances. They're heavily understaffed.
They're crying over here. They're crying. You're making these people cry. Do you like what you're doing right here? Do you see what you're doing to these people? They're crying. They're crying. You're being very insensitive. You're being so hurtful. That's hurtful. You're being a very hurtful person. We don't need guns. Guns kill people. Guns hurt people. It's very insensitive and rude of you. Yeah. Nope. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. They use guns sometimes, but that's just kind of the thing. Guns actually don't themselves kill people. Moving on.